Hi, my name is Matthew Morse, and this is my final COETAIL 5 video project. So my project centered around a unit I did on the perks of being a wallflower. My goal was to utilize as many different technologies to explore the book and bring greater understanding of its contents to my students. Essentially the standard I was looking to meet was using technology, including the internet, to produce, publish, and update individual or shared writing products in response to ongoing feedback, including new arguments or information. So we did a number of different things. One of the first things that we did was blogging. And what we had the students do was create their own blogs using, they could use WordPress or they could use a Google site. And they were to blog their reactions to the various readings and activities that we did in class. They were also allowed to use Glogster if they wanted as well, to present different parts of the book. And that worked out pretty well. I tried to move away from the traditional way of teaching this book and use various resources on the internet to teach it and hopefully to enhance the students' reading experience. So there were various ways we did it. We also used VoiceThread, and we also used a big marker to a certain extent, but didn't really work. So in the end, one of the first things we did was VoiceThread. Okay, and with the VoiceThread activity, the first thing we did is we gathered a number of clips of the film Perks of Being a Wallflower that actually were not included in the final cut. And the idea was that I wanted the students to consider, after reading the book, why those scenes might have been excised from the final cut of the movie. And in order to do that, one of the first things we did, one of the key activities we did, was we actually took clips of the film and I assigned different clips to different students. They took those clips home, viewed them, and then they were to comment. And other students in the classroom were expected to view their comments and to also comment accordingly. And the final two elements of this project were that we were to go and meet after all comments had been shared, including my own, and listen to the comments and then discuss them amongst ourselves within the class. And the final aspect of that was, of course, that the students would blog about their reactions to the different scenes of the film that were ultimately rejected from the movie. And in terms of the activities that I did within the unit, this was the most successful. This was the one that the students wanted to do again, because they got to work at home, they got to interact with students at home, there wasn't as much pressure, they could take their time, and then I think they liked having students listen to their comments afterwards. We did also a unit on poetry, and students had to write their own poem, and also we used today's meet to discuss a TP cast, which is basically a poetry analysis form, and the poem that we analyzed was A Person, a Paper, a Promise, and that is a poem that is found in the book. And that worked out quite well, and the students enjoyed that. Although there were problems with the internet, so that did not work as well as I would have liked, but it still worked okay. In the movie, there's a mixtape that Charlie makes for his friends. And so, kind of utilizing that idea, I had the students use iTunes to create their own mixtape. And within that mixtape, what I asked them to do was to create their own mixtape using iTunes, their own playlist, and then write about the songs that they chose and why. And so the kids reacted to that, and to carry the idea further, in the book, Charlie gives a present, a 45 single by the Beatles of the song Something. And many of the kids mentioned that they'd never actually even seen a vinyl record, and none of them had ever played a vinyl record. They didn't even know how they worked. So I brought a turntable into class, and most of the kids in the class, was the first time they had ever played a record or even seen a record. Some of them never even seen a vinyl record. So this activity was done in the context of showing them how important music was to the movie and the book version of Perks of Being a Wallflower and how people used to relate to music versus how people interact and listen to music now. So the students had to blog about their reactions to that experience as well. What do you think of using VoiceThread to talk about scenes from the movie?
Probably like one of the best, I think, because you can actually upload a video and like we can share information together with the students and teachers. And it might be difficult at the starting, but then once it come in hand, I think it's really useful. You can like record your own voice too. So I think it's like really effective too.
Okay. All right. So overall, do you think the technology that we've used, or even that you've used in other classes, do you think it enhances? That means makes better your learning experience, or you're not sure?
Technology just makes everything much easier. You can do it while you're at home, because if you get everything done in paper, like for me, I'm like a forgetful person, so I usually lose my work, or how students always. This is like the teachers' side of the view. I think the teachers, how students always say, "Oh yeah, I left my work at home, I lost the paper." If everything was done digitally, it would be much easier, and the teachers know that are we lying or not. So I think technology has.
Okay, so using Google Docs, and you're fairly tech savvy, so you kind of know a lot about it. I mean, did you find using Google Docs and Google Sites useful? Do you find it useful?
Yeah, it's very useful because not only your class were using Google Docs and Google Sites, almost all my class were using the Google Sites and Doc, and yeah, Google Doc saved my life because I have a good work, and the teacher can check how much the student typed. So my friend was trying to say that he typed this, he typed that, but there really is that I typed them all, and the teacher can check the revisions that I typed in. So I got a grade from that one.
Okay, well that's good also, because remember it was a nice thing about it when you're writing something in class, we could do it in real time, so I could actually be on there while you're writing and I could see the mistakes that you're making.
And you can see the history of what I typed also.
Okay.
So
all right, good. I know blogging, we did some limited blogging. Did you enjoy the blogging? Do you think it's something that you might continue? Did you see blogging, using the blog to post your comments on the book? Did you think that was useful?
Yeah, that was useful also, but then I think if you have more variety of ideas, what to rewrite, not just a specific one, it would be quite hard for me to do that. But then if you give me more ideas, a list, what can I do, it will be easier for me to do that.
Okay.
And I think that it will help other people also, they search on the internet, they found this blog, and it will help them. So I think it's good.
Okay, good. All right. Now, today's meet. Could you tell me today's meet? We use that for a discussion about Perks, specific the poetry that he reads in the book, the poem. And so, what I'd like to tell me is what was one advantage you think of using today's meet within the class, and what was one big disadvantage?
So the advantage, it means if you're not at home, if you're at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to talk and do work together, discuss together by typing, but then I think that it's not really good. If we use Skype, it will be better because we can just say whatever we say, we don't have to type it. And Skype, you can add more people to the room.
Okay. What was the obstacle that we faced that we talked about earlier? What was the biggest problem we had with Big Marker, and another problem that you can have with all sorts of technology? What was our biggest problem?
The internet connections.
Yeah.
I was typing. And you said, why are you answering me? And when I was waiting for you to type, it also took a while when I received the text from you. So it's an internet problem.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And we've just started. We've been using VoiceThread. Do you think that VoiceThread could be an effective tool for teaching, especially if you want to give a student assignment at home and then have them come into class already have viewed the material or seen the day's assignment or content?
I think yeah, it's quite good. It's like you get to interact with other people by using our sound, our voice, and but then the bad thing about it is that it's not a live one, so like you cannot see what other people were saying, doing. Yeah, but you have to like keep refreshing to wait for other people to see other people comments.
Okay.
So that's a disadvantage.
Okay, so thinking about how it went in terms of conclusions, I think it went really well. The students liked the new technology. I almost used no paper in this class. It was a paperless unit. Everything was posted on our blogs or on Google Drive, and a lot of the activities took place online via discussion or websites where the students interacted at home. So I think that in the end it worked for everybody, and it was a good unit. I enjoyed it.